What's going on, guys? Sunday evening here at the shop. This is we do truck maintenance every other Sunday for our Raleigh location. So this truck right here is actually broke down with a bad transmission. What I want to talk to everybody about, these Isuzu trucks, they're kind of the standard for the junk removal industry. And I know a lot of you that are watching these YouTube videos aren't using these Isuzu trucks. You've got pickup trucks, trailers, or other kinds of dump trucks, that kind of stuff. But the transmissions on these trucks are good. These Isuzu trucks are good for about 240,000 miles. And that's decent, for a diesel truck hauling a bunch of weight and all like that. Automatic transmission, 240,000 miles is pretty good. So the problem is these transmissions, they're about between $5,000 and $6,000, almost as much as the engine. So when you buy them brand new, it's close to $6K. You install them, you're going to have about $2,000 worth of labor if you go to a dealer. So you're going to be around $8,000 to put a new transmission in one of these trucks. The engine is about the same amount. The engine's about a $6,000 engine, and the engine's going to be actually a little bit more labor. It's going to be about $3,000 in labor probably. So you're $9,000, $10,000 to put an engine if you go to one of the dealers. It's critical. And it's hard to do, but it's really, really important to do your best to try and find a mechanic that can actually do your work. And it's great if they can come to you. And we've been blessed to have found a gentleman that goes by the name of Lee Stevens in this area. And he does a lot of work, pretty much all the main work on our vehicles. He comes to us. We got the shop facility right here. We're able to use. He comes to us and he does our repairs. Now the transmission, something that we have done, this will be the third transmission we've done since we've been in business, and we get a junkyard transmission. So this particular transmission at a junkyard, you can pick up for about $1,500. Once you turn your core back in, might be a little less than that, but somewhere around $1,500 you can get. Now, the issue with a lot of junkyard transmissions is you don't know how many miles have actually been put on them. But generally, they're in the junkyard because they've been wrecked. So, even if you get one 50, 100,000 miles, you've still probably got a good 150,000 to 200,000 miles to get out of that transmission. So, if you can ask the junkyard how many miles is on that truck before they got that transmission. And a lot of times, the place we deal with, the transmission might still be in the truck, where they might actually write on the transmission the number of miles. So if you can get that information, then that's a definite plus. That way you're not buying something that's mostly wore out. We've had good luck with junkyard transmissions though, so I can't complain. That truck right there, that is actually, so that is one of the junkyard transmissions we put in there. And that truck's got about 300,000 miles on it. We put the transmission on that truck at 130,000. So we got about 120,000 miles or so out. Is that right? It was 170,000. We got about 170,000 miles out of that junkyard transmission, and that's decent. I mean, and that was especially when we had just put an engine on that truck. That was a bad buy. That was the second truck we purchased, and we wound up within 30,000 miles having to put an engine and transmission on it. So that was a poor purchase on our part. That's the only time we've ever bought a truck sight unseen. We bought it right off a website. With that, and we never went out there and actually looked at it. We had them go and just bring the truck to us. We paid an airline ticket for the guy to go back, and the truck had a weird sound of the engine, but it was a different engine than what we're used to in truck one. As you notice, truck one back there has also got the hood lifted up on it. It's got some sort of fuel issue on it, but that truck's got about 340,000 miles on an original engine. We put a transmission in it. It had about 270,000 miles when we stuck the transmission on it. So that's been a good, truck one has been an excellent truck. It's down on power now, and I'm hopeful it's not a complete engine failure. It turns over good, but I mean, it's just getting wore out. It just doesn't have a whole lot of compression. So we very well could be putting an engine in that truck soon, but we're gonna try and keep it going. We're gonna try and run as hard as we can. A lot of people will upgrade their trucks. So, and I won't say we never will. We very well might, you know, but we're in the point now, we're in the growth phase where we're adding trucks just to keep up with growth. So, you know, it's hard to upgrade existing trucks and add new trucks at the same time. So, I mean, as you can see, we got a couple new ones back there to go along. We got trucks scattered all throughout this property right now. But we got a few newer trucks over there. That's a 2011 model, and then a 2017 model, 2017 or 18. I can't remember if it's a 17 or 18. I think it's a 17. It could be an 18 truck. And then we got some, you know, some newer ones at our Greensboro location too. But used trucks work great. You can do them on a budget. I mean, you get almost three decent used trucks for the price of one new one. New ones do work pretty good too once your business is more established, or when you're brand new, when you have to have a very, very reliable vehicle. But it's always nice to have a mix. You can have a mix of both. It is nice having new ones because they're generally more reliable. They're not going to break down as much. But kind of sum this video up, don't be afraid of junkyard parts, junkyard transmissions. We put a junkyard rear end in one of these trucks. It saves you a tremendous amount of money, and do your very best to try and find a good mechanic that'll come to you and will work on your stuff if you have a place for it. The problem with the dealers, one, they're obviously very expensive. Two, unless you bought the truck through them, they're very slow generally on their service. A couple days out, and that's 2 or 3 days you're having to rent a truck, or you're going to be down without a vehicle. So that's a couple good reasons to do that. And then 3 is dealers are not going to do junkyard parts. They're only going to put in new parts, and you're adding tremendously to the cost there. Again, transmission in that truck back there is around $5,000. You can get a junkyard transmission for about $1,500. So I think I'll have another little episode of Trash Talk coming up. I just wanted to talk to everybody about these trucks. Isuzu trucks are good overall. They got their quirks about them. They've got stuff that's going to wear out, but they're very maneuverable. They're easy for your guys to drive when you have inexperienced drivers. Those of you out there in your pickup trucks and trailers, it's great when you're on the truck. But as soon as you start hiring semi-inexperienced drivers, they're going to tear up your trucks and trailers. And you know, that's just and they don't maneuver as well, so they're harder to get into certain places, and certain places you can't get a trailer in that you might be able to get one of those trucks in. So Isuzu trucks are great. You can buy used got junk trucks for about $25K. You know, you just got to know what you're looking for when you buy them, and you're gonna have to work on them every so often. So that's part of the deal. We'll catch everybody real soon. Y'all have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you later this evening.